Coach, obviously Washington's struggled a little bit for their standards, 6-11, and some chemistry issues that seem to be documented. But how do you approach this one not to take them heavy? Is it more of a mental thing, or is it a physical?
Well, I think our history with them prevents us from doing that, right? We play them a lot. We've seen them in the playoffs a lot. We know their players. We know there's a lot of talent there right now, and even we've been in this situation before. I think even in the regular season where they've maybe dropped a couple coming in there, and you think, but they're obviously they get up to play us, and they're playing much better as of late.
What's the status of CJ and OG?
CJ's a go for sure, and OG's probably goes too, but need one more little check. They both went through the workout this morning with no issues, so CJ's a definite, and OG's a one more check here before the game.
You guys have only had your fully healthy roster for one game this season. What sort of challenge is that?
Well, there's some challenges, as you know. You got guys coming out, but I think that I always like to look at that, and I have now that some guys are coming back. You say, man, it gave these guys a chance some other guys a chance to shine, or us to at least evaluate them and see where we can fit them in. It made us play a lot. It made us play really, really small sometimes. To 3, maybe 4 point guards at one time, and then it made us play really big the other night for the first time, right? We had Greg and Serge together, which that one never really ran across my head before until it trotted out there the other night, and then we had Serge and JV back a couple times too. So it's would we rather have our full complement of guys? Probably, but now that once you kind of work through it, it gives you some certain learning opportunities and experiences, and we'll take the positives from it.
Coach, you're approaching the quarter point of the season right now. It's obviously been a very good start, first overall. Where would you rate the team's ability to grow?
Well, I think we got a lot. I wouldn't say we're just scratching the surface, right? But I think there is a lot of room to grow, right? I think that they're still learning me a bit, right? And there's still some things that I'm trying to learn about a few of the new guys, and our guys that have been here for a while are still trying to learn just some of the nuances. So I think there is a lot of potential. The other thing is we're generating really good shots, and we're not necessarily shooting very well. So I'm hoping that some of these guys' career averages climb back to the norm a little bit. Some of them are really low, which I think is encouraging because I think the shots are there and they're good. It'd be a little more worrying if the shots were bad and we're struggling to get them, but I think they're there, so I think there's some growth there as well.
With Pascal Siakam's growth, he's 18-6 over his last 10 games. What's been the biggest difference for him over the last year or two?
Well, I think probably the most noticeable thing is that he's handling the ball, right? I think that's really, if you had to pin it on one thing, he's bringing the ball up the floor and he's making things happen, and he's getting to the basket. That's probably the single thing I can think of, yeah.
Are you noticing guys kind of trusting him more, like, for example, Serge kicking up for 3 or kind of giving him more options?
I think there's still some growth in the trust area there because we haven't seen it. I mean, we've seen it now for, 20 games, 18 games, whatever it is. And I think there's still some of it that surprises some of us, and we're not sure, but I think it's growing, right? We got him, we got play calls for him, and we got post-ups and drives, and there's more things coming, and our guys are accepting it pretty well, but I still think there's some we talked about before, there's some trust. Well, it's not trust, it's more just learning and experiencing the things and saying, hey, that's okay. We believe in that now. So is that trust? Maybe.
Dana's been so consistent for you guys all year, and even in games like the one in Orlando or the one in Atlanta where he sort of starts off slow, he seems to find a way to get back into things in the second half. What is it about him as a player that allows him to be so consistent?
He can go 2 for 10 and still have a really good game. It's a little bit like, remember the first game of the year when Serge didn't start the game and he went 2 for 10 from the field, but he had about 4 blocks and a bunch of shot changes and a bunch of rebounds. And one of the first things we talked about after the game was, oh, Serge was great tonight. He went 2 for 10. And Danny's similar. He can impact the game without the ball going in. And when the ball does go in, it's just all icing.